Good evening, ladies and gents. Welcome to another video brought to you by Total Control Traders. Gonna make a short market review video today, including some tickers, quite a bit of tickers actually. So buckle in and let's get right to it. All right, first one, SPX. SPX new all-time high, SPY new all-time high today. Congrats to market bulls. Look at that SPY close. It's near the high of day. Anyways, okay. So SPX. Look at this run that we've had since the pandemic crash. So far, it has been 100, just over 100% now. Congrats to those that stay bull. And going forward, unless there's anything significant, there's something significant, there's a catalyst kind of thing. It's going to be a little bit harder to play bears. It's going to be the same as before, where playing bulls is going to be, I think it's like 6 out of 7 days on average, 6 out of 7 years on average, or even anywhere between 6 out of 7 years or 9 out of 10 years. That is going to be bull, and bear is going to have one of those years. So remaining bullish will be a lot easier to play if you are any sort of trader, active trader, day trader, scalp trader kind of thing. Even if you're, especially if you're swing traders. However, do pay attention. You know, there could be catalysts at any time, but I don't see any red flags right now. All right, so SPX, no significant red flags. Increasing bull volume. Next target, we stalled around this, was this 1-to-1? Yeah, we stalled on the 1-to-1 extension from this noticeable leg. 1-to-1 extension target, stalled a little bit around there, 44.25, right at that market, right at that mark. And then bull flag formation, never lost the 80. Yeah, never lost the 88. And now the real target, based on the last move, the 1-to-1 extension target, we're looking at 44.90. Low to the higher low, GP, 1-to-1 extension, 44.90. And without any significant red flags, we'll be remaining bullish. Next is NAS. So in the chat room, I can't remember if it was yesterday or Monday, we discussed the possibility of this happening, this red line happening, just to prepare yourself in the case that bears do show up. And NAS have been noticeably weaker versus the market. Daily bear divergence, double. The last one that happened dropped a 2.35% in a single day before the bounce. And then this one seems to be a slower fade this time. So far it's dropped 1.22%. So we did lose and close under. Let's go into shorter time frames. Yeah, so we did lose and close under the trend lines, whether if it's a trend line of the wedge or this long-term trend line where we saw 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 bounces so far. So wedge potentially no longer apply. This trend line has been lost, and the potential that we're looking at is a back test of the previous high, where we saw resistance, a little bit of resistance here, rejection here, 1, 2, 3 supports. So this is a clear key zone right here. Now with the loss of the trend line, we could be seeing this type of pattern coming back down to visit, making a lower high before a lower low. So if that is the case, prepare yourself for your bear thesis, but also remember, on top of your bull thesis, always have bear thesis, whether if it's the market or your individual tickers. The question that we gotta ask now is, if this turns out to be the case for NAS, I'd probably say lower on this one. If this turns out to be the case for NAS, then is it gonna drag the rest of the market down? So make sure you're sized appropriately. Have your game plans ready in the case that NAS does drag. In the case that this does work out and it does drag the market down, what is your game plan? What are you selling? What are you holding? Kind of thing. Next is RUS. RUS noticeably stronger right now. High of day close, off by very little. High of day close, I would call it. Still within our wedge. Today we backtested a GP from this low to the high, that big upper wick. Today we touched it and immediate buyout. So bulls are looking a lot nicer now. This is complete V shape into new highs. Just broke this resistance at 22.45 like it's nothing. And we are closing higher in the after hours. We are seeing a bull flag formation right now, slight confirmation, nothing real yet. I would anticipate that this will go sideways a little bit longer before the actual confirmation. And Dow's made new all-time high as well. Congrats, Dow bulls, closed near that all-time high as well. Very strong. No significant red flags. Let's take a look at one thing I wanted to show is the QQQ BTC. So we had a triple top at, so this is a QQQ over IWM, meaning the higher the chart goes, if it's in an uptrend, that would represent that QQQ NAS is relatively stronger comparing to RUS IWM. Okay. Now what we're seeing here is the triple top 168, 2, 3, and now we're rejecting, and this trend line that has been previous resistance, which became support, 1, 2, yeah, 2 supports, and now we're breaking under. So tomorrow should be able to tell if NAS continues to be weak and RUS continues to be strong, or in relevance, RUS continues to be strong to NAS, whether they're both weak or whichever. This should be seeing a continuation. So as of now, there is, yeah, as of now, even though we closed under, there is a chance that we still go back up. We never touched that GP yet, so keeping a very close eye on QQQ over IWM, at least over the next day or two. I want to see what the reaction here is. All right, let's get into the hottest tickers. First one, BTC. Nice, did not form the wedge. So there was no bull pennant, but instead it just broke bull right away. GP coming up. Yeah, first GP coming up, 47,774. Oh, we haven't looked at Bitcoin for some time, eh? Straight bounce from the 0.382, strong bounce. Likelihood of touching this GP is relatively strong. We can see previous resistance here and then became support. As of right now, not sure why we're stalling here, not seeing significant. There's some supports here. So I would anticipate this to be a temporary stall. Looking at potential bull flag formation here before a next leg move up. GP would anticipate a touch. Daily trend clearly reversed to the bulls now. Lower low. Sorry, this is actually a higher low, higher high, higher low again, and now we're seeing another higher high. So Bitcoin is currently in the daily uptrend. And let's take a look at HIVE. So a couple scenarios we discussed last time we looked at it. Right at this trend line the day before we touched the trend line is when we looked at it. So from there, it was either a touch of the trend line and reject to GP, or a breakthrough with immediate back test. So if we were to zoom in to closer time frames, we can see that we had a rejection, came back bull flag, confirmation bull break, immediate back test before a next leg move up. So first scenario actually turned out exactly as we anticipated. bull break, immediate back test right here, and then now we're seeing confirmation. So with this, where is the resistance? Let's use fib extension. Already passed the 1-to-1 extension target. 1 to 2 still has some room. And we saw a slight rejection from 1.618. So 1-to-1 extension target from the low to the high to the higher low. 1.618 is where we saw the rejection. 4.24. No real concern yet. Earnings is tomorrow. Could very well straight break through this. It's not overbought on the daily. Nothing, no major red flags. Next is coin. So all crypto related are running. All right, so coin, we broke through the must break for bulls key trend line here. 1, 2, 3 rejections and huge bull day, breaking through it right into the next key zone where we saw previous supports, some rejections, more rejections here, slight stall before gap up. I can't remember what the reason for this was. I believe it was crypto move. Gap up. Now earnings is, oh wow, I did not look at their earnings. It's actually better than expected. Okay, so their first earnings looks really good, 176% versus analyst expectation. A little bit of indecision candle today. Still unable to break over this next key zone. Based on the chart, I would anticipate a 4-hour higher low to be set. We are a little bit extended from day 8. Day is not overbought. Big bear volume. So bulls try to push it up. Bears pushed it back down. Big bear volume. There is a slight gap. 263.90, 264. Yeah, so there is a slight gap left behind here. Would anticipate at least a gap fill. If you're not in, be patient. Look for what the 4-hour higher low looks like. Ideal entry with the way it stands now. Yeah, it would be back somewhere around here in this key zone. That would be the GP. Let's take a look here. 0.5 would make sense. Previous rejection, 261.15, 260. So right here as well. 2 areas I would be looking for ideal entry. Most ideal obviously is going to be around the 250. Where we saw lots of rejections in that area. Lots of support. Alright, next is you. Congrats, you bulls. Looked at this chart yesterday, thought about entering, but did not like the chopstick top. Potential reversal. Bearish, somewhat bearish engulfing on earnings, which was decent earnings. So this got me. You know, looking at this yesterday's candlestick, thought about entering, lost the day 88, so did not enter. And look at today, gap up and run. Gap up and run. 13% move. One day. Amazing. Congrats, you utility bulls. Now from here, we did close over the key zone, so I would be looking up into the next, what is this? I would be looking for further price actions upwards. If we're to use the fib extension, 1-to-1 extension target, 1-to-1 is right in the middle. Somewhat of a support here. 1-to-6 eventually, not saying right away, but 1-to-618 extension target would somewhat make sense. So it'll be at the high of this next key zone. But as the way it stands, now that we're broken over this middle key zone, there's a lack of resistance aside from maybe 135.20. all the way up to that next zone. So from here, 121, 135.2, next one will be around 142.33. Right, next is W. So same idea, congrats W bulls. Usually you see this in reverse, small. How do I do that? Is it Control I? No, Li. There you go. Usually you see this type of chart where it's like small, slow ladder, slow stairs up and elevator down. But with W, Wayfair, we are seeing a complete reverse. Earnings came out, so we saw oversold bounce here. Earnings came out and really helped that bounce. Bull volume really came in, and we're seeing continuation, increasing bull volume. No major concerns if you're in already. If you're not, I would wait for a 4-hour higher low. As the way it stands right now, there is no real red flag. Watch for that climax. Potentially tomorrow going into Friday. We want to see this increasing volume, bull volume continuation into a climax with volume equal or higher than earnings date volume. Next is Tesla. Bull flag formation. Really love the setup on Tesla right now. Wait, so this is lower. Okay, yeah, it's no inverse head and shoulders. Some might call this inverse head and shoulders, you know, left shoulder, head, right shoulder, but left shoulder is lower than head. So no inverse head and shoulders technically. Regardless, it was a long-term wedge that's broken bull, and now we're seeing daily bull flag. Holding the daily 8 looks amazing, decreasing bear volume. Gonna want to see confirmation going into end of the week, early next week. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We've been trading in this zone for 8 days already. Would anticipate a break of either direction relatively soon. Keep your eyes on Tesla. Most ideal entry if you are not in, if it does break bear, would be looking at this potential GP here, 660. Watch this lower trend line. This is a must hold for bulls. Has never been lost ever since the beginning of this move, pandemic wise. 1, almost touch. 2, and then slightly opened under and immediately bought up, closed under, immediately bought up. So 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, almost 10 touches on this lower trend line already. That would be your guide for most ideal entry. And from here, if we were to confirm the target looking up from the 1-to-1 extension target, we'll be looking at 774. Next is Moderna. So top is likely in on Moderna. And over the last 2 days, the sell off has been crazy. 25% sell off within 2 days. I would anticipate a bounce, a short-term bounce coming. But tomorrow, let's see if we get a gap down open, climax type of scenario. Right now, the hourly is not oversold yet. 30 has just touched the oversold. 15 is formed a bull divergence, but unable to see continuation. Let me clean this up here. And 4 hours, not near the oversold yet. Potential reversal candle. Short term wise, this is the trend line that bulls want to hold. 1, 2, 3 bounces, and now we're seeing bulls holding it with wicks under. So tomorrow, if we get a gap down open into this next GP here, from this low to the high, that could be a very nice entry for a bounce play. Keep your eyes on Moderna. 25% in 2 days. There should be a bounce, but we want to see, ideally we want to see at least the candle detach from the daily 8 before a bounce. Okay, next is, so similar idea here, I guess. So if you look at this, you know, this did not show a clear rejection until the next day. Candle detached and start rejecting. Next is, for those of you that missed the Friday's video, I covered SCR. Friday? Yeah, last Friday's live. If you haven't seen it, make sure to check it out. SCR would not anticipate any further bullish action, at least not for unless there's the new news that comes out. So Penn is buying SCR at about $34 per share, which is split between cash and stock. And that's why we saw a huge, what was this? 62% gap up. Okay, and immediate profit taking followed by immediate buying up. And I would anticipate going forward until the date that they actually get bought out, that this just trades around that 34 mark, likely a little bit below kind of thing. But haven't seen any. This is not a bull flag. Okay, would not consider this a bull flag, just because it's purely news based with a very clear target. 34. It's actually been removed off of my watch list now because not anticipating anything new. Next is Hood. Yeah, I'm gonna keep the Hood as a last one. Keep a short video. I'll do a longer video over on Friday or over the weekend. All right, Hood, huge squeeze. Oh, we almost filled the gap today. Huge squeeze after IPO. It made a new low, it based, double bottom, and then started buying up. Huge buying pressure. Now with a big upper wick. The 88 is starting to show up. Bulls are trying to hold that 88. No real pattern yet. If you're not in, you could consider the gap fill as your entry, which is at what? 48.59. Today we got to 49. So less than a dollar off. Most ideal entry is the way it stands right now, probably around 46.88. You want to see a wick just touching that before a next leg move up, decreasing bear volume, so that's decent. However, with this type of ticker, always got to be aware of the potential that you don't want to be caught bag holding, because this got squeezed up. A lot of people are have taken profit up here, have taken profit here. This was from IPO price is 123% squeeze already, and from IPO right now you're still 34% up. So there is a possible scenario where it continues to drop, back test somewhere around there, and then make a new low. So you got to keep that scenario in mind, that thesis in mind, the bear thesis. If you're looking for bull entries, just know where your stop is. If I were to enter on this gap fill, I'd probably place my stop not far below. Yeah, I would place my stop not far below. On the gap fill, we don't want to see any further actions down, at least not going past this closing of 46.80. Alright, that's it for today's video. Thank you guys for watching, and hope you guys enjoyed the content. We covered not all the tickers I wanted to, but we covered all the most important ones. Again, thank you for watching. I hope to see you guys in the next video. If you know anyone that might enjoy or benefit from the content that we provide, please do consider sharing our channel with them. Really appreciate that. I will see you guys in the next video.